And the music is playing. Dun, 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 dun.
Ready for the exciting and deafening intro from Johnny. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to On the Couch Podcast, where we unlock the secrets of dominating the sales game, mastering the mortgage industry, and building businesses that you can be proud of. I'm Johnny Supa, the principal broker at Your Nesta Financial, co-creator of the 7x70 framework, and the co-creator of the Broker Boost Academy. We're here with
Danny Cardozo.
He is a sales expert, strategist, and an automation master. Woo!
Dang.
Fuego.
I'll put a little twist on that one for us today. And today we're going to talk about,
What are we talking about today, Johnny?
I think we should talk about unlocking daily disciplines and how the 7x70 can help you do that. And maybe we can discuss the gold mines of building a referral network and what this business is all about.
I think that sounds pretty good. Danny,
Good. Let's do it.
let's do it. Johnny, hit me.
So I have some notes here. So let's dive into this, Danny. Why is consistent daily actions the foundation of success?
So I'm going to say it builds habitual habits, which I think is very, very important in order to get your mindset in the proper state throughout your day-to-day hobbies, or not hobbies, day-to-day activities, duties.
So yeah,
So some people ask me, like, why do you have, like, how are you able to go day to day and still have the same drive every day? It's because I'm pretty much trying to stick to the same routines on a daily basis. This way it doesn't throw me off, and I'm always moving forward.
yeah. Guys, if you're listening to this episode,
Why does it sound like something happened?
what, right now?
Yeah, if you're listening.
yeah,
to
did
this
you see? Yeah, I got it really.
If you're listening to this episode,
I'm so
What happened, Johnny?
no, I gotta tell you, we got a fucking pen and paper and take notes
Whoa, pen and paper. What's a pen and paper?
so they can take notes, write shit down.
Okay, I'm ready. Go.
All right. Guys, daily disciplines are probably the most important thing you can do in this business. A lot of the people, when they jump into this role and anything, it doesn't matter if it's even in our industry. You could be an insurance agent, you could be a car salesman, you could be a kid going to school. It doesn't matter. If, like, I'll give you an example. Danny, do your kids have a daily habit routine? Daily routine every single day?
every single day.
Yeah.
I mean,
When they're going to school.
when they go to school, yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Same routine, right?
100%.
So why would you change that if you're going into work and business? You shouldn't change that. It should be the exact same thing. So, and when I say go get a pen and paper, I mean, if you are literally like me, I like to write things down and get into things, but a system helps people focus, right? You know what? Fuck, I'm not even going to look at my notes because I know this shit off by heart. If you're not designing your day to win, you're not going to win. It's just that simple. If you're just winging it, and those people that say like, "Oh, I just wing it, I just off the cuff," man, I think you're wrong. You're crazy to do that.
What in regards to what? Winging what?
Just going through the motions.
Talk to me a little bit about that, guys. Since we're talking 7x70, you can't go through the emotions. You got to go buy the book, buy the program, buy the course. You got to run the course.
So, so early in my career, I started door knocking, and to get into the mood to door knock, we went through roll call. Roll call allowed me to understand yesterday's objections and how I can handle them with the proper rebuttals. So that was my daily routine. I got up and I did those, but it started way before that. It started with how I got up in the morning, the things I did, the exercise, affirmations. Not everybody has to do them, but I still think mindset conditioning is very important. But if you're going to prepare your day, the framework around it is, I don't know. I know we talk about it a lot and it sounds mundane, but it's not. It's important. How do we?
Well, I mean, we put this in the 7x70 program
Yeah.
because we think it's important.
There's crucial tasks that you need to really, really, really dive into, right? Like, how do I say this? I want to try to bring it in a different light. Give me a second. Danny, take over the mic. Give me a minute here. Give me a second.
Danny, take over the mic. Let's
Okay, you know what? Let me start rapping.
the 7x70. How long has this been in the pipeline? Start right there.
So, I mean, we started the 7x70 in January of last year. So we're going on,
It's been over a year now.
it's a year old.
Yeah.
Now,
How did we
you're
develop-
all active. I'm
Active,
talking
yeah.
about on pen and paper. How long have
On
you
pen on paper, literally, like we put some time in December, I'm gonna say, into where we wanted to go with the brokerage, and it's like, okay, we need to do this. We need to come up with a program that's going to entice our agents to perform better.
Yeah.
And while we're building out how we're gonna get these agents to perform better, we started coming up with this program. And then we're like, you know, one idea led into the other idea. It's like, okay, I like where this is going. How can we make this program a little bit better? How can we make it like, you know, and then we came up with a number, and that number led into more technical stuff into the program. So for instance, we're like, how do we get our agents to create 7 deals in a month? Right? That's how we sort of got.
We just reversed it. And then we took what we were doing.
And how long can we get this program to go? And we're like, fuck, we can get people on the right track to get 7 deals a month. Can we do it in 70 days?
So the goal is
So
7
then-
deals in 70 days.
7 deals or 7 referral sources, whatever you want to call it.
In 70 days.
In 70 days.
Okay. What happens after that? So let's say they complete that course. It's great. The program works. And now they come to you and say, I want more.
You know,
So we have this course running 3 times a year.
Ah, okay.
Or technically it's set up that you could, you know, jump on at any time, actually, truly. But as a team, we like to do this 3 times a year.
yeah. Okay.
Do you need to be
I'm-
on all 3? Do you need to be on all 3? No, man. You can do one.
Do you
If you go
suggest it?
hard-
Do you suggest it?
It all depends on your business. We have an agent that literally did phase 1. He's built a business. He is happy with his business right now.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't jump on. He didn't jump on our second or third. We have agents that did all 3.
And then it just doesn't click.
No, they're
Oh, they're doing
performing.
very well. Oh, okay.
They just wanted more.
Okay.
And I'm not saying you're going to get 7 deals in a month, but we're saying we're going to drastically increase your business.
Wow.
And yes, could you get to 7 deals a month? But if you do if the program perfect, I bet you can do 7 deals in a month.
All right.
So Johnny's ready.
Yeah. I've said this a lot and I'll say it again. A lot of people get in this business and they think it's easy. And understanding what you need to do every single day, day in and day out. And I think it's like, if you're not building the habits to build referral partners, you're not going to have a business. And we're saying to you that first, you got to start with yourself. If you don't help yourself, that's one of the few crucial tasks every single day is working on you. If you're not doing that first, how are you going to have the energy to go out and attract any sort of business partners to want to do business with you? But it's not a plug and play. It's not plug and play.
No.
You got to go through the journey.
Yeah.
You got to build your brand. That is one of the biggest things everybody misses when they get into this business. They come in. I had somebody yesterday. Okay, ready? Say, Johnny, when do I get my business cards? I said that should be the last thing you're worrying about right now. Business cards are not, you should, like, if you're an agent going out right now, okay, you want to be part of the 7x70 program, bro, business cards are not where you start. Okay, you got to understand your business, your why, who are you, your identity. Then once you find your identity, then you got to go capture your domains. If you don't capture your domains with the right identity, you're setting yourself up for failure. Like, it's not end all or be. It's not the end all be all. Okay, but if you don't have a domain and you're going out to attract top producing people, if you want to do $1 million business and you want to go attract a person who's in the industry to be your partner, and you have an @Gmail account, is that really where you want to start? No, right? So that's number one. Number two, if your bio on LinkedIn does not describe who you are and still showcases what you were doing 17 years ago, and you're still present as an employee at the old company, is that a reflection of who you are? No. So once you do, so that's number one, is building your foundation in your business, understanding that. Number two is, once you do that, how do you create a unique value proposition? So the 7x70 is not just a plug and play and come in here and it's like, okay, well, here's my master to-do list to make these 7 daily habits. Those 7 daily habits can only be done when you have your business set up. If you don't have the business set up, you can't do anything. You can't get a referral partner. You don't have any unique value propositions. You don't know what value you're bringing to that institution or that partner or that referral source. So how are you going to do that? 7x70 is a place where agents want to come and take their business to the next level. If you're an agent who's out there and you're struggling in the business, if you're bottlenecked, if you're only doing 2 deals a month or 2 deals a year and you're not understanding how to get there, first, you have to have the right policies, procedures, processes in place, which is what we have. You have to have the right working mechanisms in the background to make you stand out. Like, what are you going to promise somebody? Great rates and great service? It doesn't work that way.
No, a lot of people tend to think that's all they need to.
Yeah. How are you going to get my deal done? How are you going to even produce that type of volume? So once you have that in place, and then you want to come do the 7x70, we're telling you, if you have all these things, you check off every box. Danny and I say, you have all these things ready to go. You follow our 70-day routine, you will do 7 deals a month. There's no question. It's impossible not to.
It's been proven now for how many years?
This is our 2nd year. But when we talk about this, Danny and I sat there and we put the program together. It was, Danny, what did we do when we started? Well, I woke up every day. I did this. I did my exercise. I did my affirmations. I made sure my mindset was in the right place at the right time. I block scheduled my calendar. I made sure my brand was there before I went out and made any sort of public announcements or attracted anybody to come take a look at me.
Sure.
Right?
Sure,
if I'm attracting you to come take a look at me, I'm going to make sure you will attract the greatest referral source business that you'll ever have. You'll have a sustainable business.
Now, you also mentioned you got to have your LinkedIn in order. You got to have your socials in order. You got to have your emails in order. And that's all fine and dandy. How imperative and important is that on the first steps?
It's the most important. You can't get to step 2 if you don't have that done.
Uh-huh.
So when you get into our brokerage and you get through the onboarding process, one of the first videos you're ever going to watch is from me of us is about finding, like, we go so in depth. We talk about logo, font colors.
Beautiful.
We talk about your domain, where to go get it, how to get it, where to drive the traffic. Like, all these things matter.
That's awesome. And of course, it all plays into branding because you're obviously wearing your 7x70 hats. That means you really stand by your product.
Yeah, more so
it
now.
Works.
More so now than ever.
So because it works, like, of course.
Yeah.
That speaks volume, don't you think? Like, you're advertising it based on proven track record.
We've shown that an agent's business coming into the 7x70, once they go through the journey, you have to go through the journey. Once you go through the journey and you come out on the other end, their business has grown 60, over 60%.
That's huge.
It's monstrous.
It's monstrous.
Yeah. Those are big numbers.
Now, that's the 7x70. Now, there was another thing that you wanted to talk about today. What was that?
Building referral partners.
Okay. Talk to me about this whole thing.
Part of the 7x70.
It's how to do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people come in and they're like, oh, but I'm stuck. I don't know how to get more business. So first, building referral partners is one thing. And you can only do it when you have unique value propositions. Like, there's 18,000 mortgage agents in Ontario. I just checked.
How many?
18,000.
18,000.
across Canada.
3,500 new in 2024.
Yep. That's 18,000 people making phone calls to every referral source. Now, our referral sources are realtors. Our referral sources are accountants, lawyers, financial advisors, and of course, everybody else that's out in the public. But those are your main sources. How do you attract referral sources, Danny? What are you doing?
What do we teach our agents how to attract referral sources? Is we built a presentation. And then with that presentation, we go out and try to have a Zoom call with them.
So you got to identify who that person's going to be first, right?
Yes.
So, and a lot of people say, well, Danny, how do I make that list? How do I go find these individuals? How do I scrape? Because to find 7 referral sources, what does that take? We know it takes 700 phone calls. 700 in 70 days. 700 phone calls in 70 days to get 4 good referral sources.
Is that
3?
10%? Well, how much is that?
It depends. We're saying
10%.
We're say it takes 700 phone calls, but I mean, if you're
doing 10 phone calls, 10 phone calls a day for 70 days, is 700.
you might not even get through 10 phone calls a day.
Why not?
Because you allow a time slot of an hour and a half, or whatever the case is, to make the phone calls. Then you get into a conversation with an agent that's going to take up 20 minutes of your call. All of a sudden, you're only going to get through 4 or 5 calls that day.
And that's why they're not completing 100%. You have to do the 10. If you do 10 and you put the extra time in, 1 hour of prospecting a day to me is not enough. If you really want my honest opinion, we block schedule an hour. We call it the hour of power. You can't, like Danny's saying, you can't do an hour up on calls because one call you might jump on. You're there for 25 minutes, but you still should make 10 calls a day. Like, why are you in this business? What are you doing?
So then, if that's the case, shouldn't you allocate more than an hour? Or do you want to give yourself some sort of a window?
I think people get lost in the conversation and they allow the control to be in the other person's hands. You shouldn't. That's why when we talk about sales, like you can't walk in, when you walked into my store, okay, and you wanted to be a car salesperson, I cannot sit there and spend 3 hours with a client and sell a car. You can't do that. It's got to be 45 minutes, test drive, trial close, trial close, trial close. See you later. That has to be it. Because all my touch points prior to that have already been done as a salesperson. The client walking in through the door who's ready to buy a car, if I'm taking 3 hours with you, I'm wasting my time. Okay. In our business, when we're teaching you and we're saying, here's your list of 10 people you're going to contact today, they should already know and anticipate the phone calls coming, right? Because the show me you know me is there. You're creeping them prior to. And if you're using the systems properly, the conversation should be, hey, it's Johnny, what's happening? You've already seen me. You know me now. You've liked me. It should be, when can I come and present? That's the whole point of the first call, the 10 outbound calls, is booking appointments. So when you're making the outbound reach and you're calling the individual, it's like, hey, Danny, it's Johnny. What's happening? Not much. You know, like the conversation is like, hey, like a lot of people are thinking about cold calling, cold sales. These calls, are they cold? They don't have to be cold. They should be warm already.
Yeah,
we're teaching you to make warm introduction calls.
Warm introduction calls.
Hey, the reason I'm calling is because I came across your name. Tony said you're the right guy to contact, whatever it might be. Or you're using the LinkedIn approach where I'm saying, Danny, hey, you're my greatest friend. You're the person who gave me that review, my character review. I'm saying, Danny, do you mind if I creep your LinkedIn and I find all the realtors that you're friends with and I put in my subject line, friends with Danny? Do you think the open rate on that email is going to be a lot higher? Absolutely. Friends with Danny Cardozo, I'm going to open that email. Yeah. Hey, I'm friends with Danny Cardozo. Now, Jimmy, who's the realtor, opens that email. Hey, just wanted to introduce myself. Whatever your intro is, your first touch point. Then you start doing the rest of the program when you're following what we teach you. Then you do that and you make the outbound call. Hey, Danny, it's Johnny. How's it going? Good, man. Oh, my goodness. I didn't know you're friends with Jimmy. Yeah, I'm friends with Danny, whatever it is, right? Whatever
So
you're
you're
saying.
not going into a cold call. You're going to a warm call.
No, 100%.
Right? Because it's a warm call because you're already going in by association.
That's right.
Like, do you guys ever refer to it as a warm call?
It is warm.
You know what I mean? Because you're not going in there cold.
You can do cold calls, but if you follow the program properly, it doesn't have to be.
Oh,
Okay.
look at that.
So
plug.
now when you make that call, the intro, when you're making it, it's like, hey, Danny, what's happening? It's Johnny, blah, blah, blah. So, listen, Johnny. Then the objections start coming. The objection is, Johnny, listen, man, I appreciate you. I know you're a friend of Jimmy's and I know this, but right now is not a good time. I'm a little slow in my business. Then if you don't have the rebuttal in front of you ready to go, buddy, you're fucked. You have to already have the end goal in mind. When I'm making this call, I'm booking an appointment. Now, 10 up on calls, you got to have at least 3 live connections. Out of the 3 live connections that you have, because that's the numbers, you got to book 1 appointment. That's the rule. And if you're following the program, I'm telling you, you'll have 7 referral sources sending you 1 deal a month. They might send you more than 1 lead, but you're going to get 1 deal a month. And that's how you get to 7 deals a month.
Sounds so easy.
It's not.
I know it's not.
It's absolutely impossible.
It's not
and I don't mean that.
No.
Not.
It's hard work.
It's hard work.
Hard work.
You got to put in the time.
Yes.
And a lot of people forget the beginning process of it. Like, you can't just go there and believe me, you can sit there and say, go on MLS, find a polluted area, okay, of realtors, and start calling them saying, hey, I came across your listing. That is one way of doing it. It's a very hard way of doing it. Hey, I came across your listing. I saw what I saw, and I just wanted to introduce myself. I am a mortgage agent. This is what I do. This is who I am. This is who I'm a part of. And I think I should definitely be given the opportunity to present to you. Great.
Are you doing this on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay, question. Would you at all consider doing this exact platform, but instead of calling people, hitting them up on social media instead?
We do.
No, which one works? What I'm saying is, which one would you say is more efficient at a success rate?
Okay. So I'm going to ask this question because we say this all the time. How many touch points do you need before a sale is closed?
We say 12.
So if you're not touching that person 12 times before you ask for business, you're in trouble.
Got you.
Okay. So how many times did you go out with your wife?
It's
before?
harder.
It is harder, but it's like, how many times did you go out with your wife before you asked her to marry you?
Sure.
Okay.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Or to get your first kiss.
Absolutely. Well,
Right. But maybe depends on how suave you are, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, you can't just call somebody and ask for business. You're asking for marriage. They don't even know who you are. So
But when you call them, they got nothing in front of them. But when you hit them up on Instagram, for example, they immediately go to your Instagram.
But I just told you, I messaged you saying, hey, my subject line says I'm friends with Stefano.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right?
Yeah, you're already by association. Got it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm doing my warm intro. Hey, I was introduced to you because Josie said you're the realtor that she would contact
Bingo.
if she was selling her house. I want to learn more about your business. Or I want to know more about this activity you're involved with. You're involved in this charity. I want to learn more about it. Or I see you have a dog. I got a dog. What dog park do you go to? Like, these are the things you have to do. If you're not doing that on a daily basis, it's not just the hour of power. The hour of power is outbound calls. There's an hour of community engagement. There's an hour of there's so many other things that you have to be doing. There's 7 tasks.
So would you guys say that being a salesman?
No, it's being human. This whole sales thing is like, I almost want to throw it out the window.
So what would you call it?
Being genuine.
Okay, now we're talking genuine.
Yeah, being genuine. Like, there's no such, like, sales is sales, yes, but you still have to be genuine. Like, when people are like, oh, but there's scripts. Yes, there are scripts. You're going to follow the script. The script isn't what you read verbatim. It is a framework to the work that you're doing. It's not what you like, oh, but you're reading off a script. I know if you're reading off a script, I can tell because you're like, ums and ahs are in there. If you use it as a framework and you have, hey, my intro, this is who I am. So my hook, story, my offer kind of idea. You have to know the framework, but it's got to be customized to everybody. It's like improv. Like, actors who do improv are absolutely incredible.
So all my clients say the same thing to me. They say, Stefano, how are you able to attain work so easily? Because we hear the way that you speak and it's just natural to you. Now, my argument to them is, okay, what about if you're an introvert? So now I'm going to ask you guys, I know the answer for this because I do it on a daily, but what would you guys say if someone comes to you and says, look, I really want to be a mortgage broker, a mortgage agent, but I'm an introvert. Now what do I do?
Yeah. Are you comfortable making outbound calls?
It's going to be tough.
Then so is the business.
Bang, mic drop.
Yeah. Unless you've got a database of thousands of thousands of thousands of people that you can drip, it's going to be a hard time because so when you build the business, right, and you have your marketing paths, you've got leads by source, applications by source, closed deals by source. Any which way you look at it, like we talked on the left side of the column has all your sources of marketing paths. If one of them is your database, and that database is sending you 3-4 deals a month, then that might be sufficient for some people. But if you don't have the database, then where is your business coming from? Paid advertising? People don't have the budgets for paid advertising because paid advertising is not cheap. You need management a month to manage the ad campaign if you don't know how to do it yourself. And then you need ad campaigns and ad dollars to spend. So you're talking $3,000, $2,000 a month minimum to give you some sort of traction. And then you're still...
But then if you're an introvert, the calls are still going to come in.
You have to make the
And then
calls.
what? And then you can't even answer these calls.
Still have to.
So at the end of the day, can you make calls?
Can you even answer calls? So that's the thing. What about if I call you, Johnny, and then all of a sudden I'm realizing, wow, you're nothing like when we first met.
But
Then what?
we've had introverts go through the program and they
Excelled.
excelled in the program.
And
They might start off slow, but eventually, if you're repeating the same script, all of a sudden it becomes easier, a little bit more easier, and a little bit more easier, and then
What do we have in front of us there?
we have a bottle of
Fun?
Elevation
Okay.
1250 Tequila Blanco. This can be picked up at the LCBO for,
Where's your little book, Danny?
I wanted to say something else.
yeah, the book didn't come with me today. $70. $70 for this Blanco. I'm looking at the reviews and it's actually very, very high in reviews.
But while he's opening this, I just wanted to say something. So after 7x70, okay, somebody says, but Johnny, I want to get to 14 referral sources. Do you need to do 7x70 again? And my answer to them is no. 7x70 is in place in order for you to get a sustainable business once the program is done. Right, Dan?
Yes.
Now the person says, but I want to double up my business. Building referrals is probably the easiest thing to do once you've built trust. Right? Like if you've built trust in the relationship with that one individual, that one referral source, they should be easily introducing you to somebody else. Just wanted to say that. So
I'm glad we brought it full circle. Now, Danny, on your first smell, I'm gonna get the cups, but on your first smell, are you a fan? The Blanco? How does it smell? Can you give me some of the notes actually?
It didn't.
While you're finding the notes, I'll get the glasses.
Smooth taste, no burn. So I guess that was one of the reviews. Oops, let's go to the description. Handcrafted by master distiller. Is made with a sustainable grown and harvested 100% blue Weber agave, like they all are. Complex herbal notes of cooked agave, grass, cinnamon, and pear are a testament to her distillery commitment. Enjoy neat or on the ice with cocktails. Me personally, this is going to be a with cocktails.
Before you drink, say one thing. I'll go right on the.
It does actually.
I'm gonna go on the bar and say Johnny's gonna hate this flavor. I think it's gonna burn going down, and he's not gonna like it.
Actually, it doesn't smell bad.
But
I'm not a Blanco guy. But why does this smell?
You can smell the cinnamon and pear in this.
Drink up, boys.
It's pretty cool, actually. Because I haven't really had a pear tasting tequila.
Was I right? 50 some odd episodes in, was I right? Say it, Johnny.
Yeah, it burned.
Aha, exactly. Yeah. You know why? Because cinnamon, pear, all acidic. That's what you're going to get, man. It won't be smooth.
But I also ate Mandarin last night, so.
Denny, let's start off with you. Give me the first thing on the appearance.
On the appearance,
Yuck.
to me, it's just a bottle of tequila. Bottle.
It's a yuck bottle. So
Yeah, nothing there for me. 6.5.
6.5. 6.5?
6.5.
Okay, flavor-wise, Danny.
Flavor wise, it smelt nicer than it tasted.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
I will definitely be using this
as a
as
mixer.
a mixer. This will be a mixer for me. I'm at
What are you giving it?
6.5.
Okay, and then price.
Price 70 bucks.
Too
Still a
much.
little high on the Blanco side. For something I'm not crazy in love with the taste. 6.5 overall.
So 6.5 overall, which is actually, I thought you're, that's a pretty good mark. I thought it was going to get worse, but Danny will help me out here with the mark. Danny, or Johnny?
Yeah, so the bottle looks like, I don't know,
Ugh.
and the label's
It's a
crooked.
bottle.
The
Label's crooked.
The label's crooked.
You know, you get more on the inside of the label than you do on the outside.
Oh,
see
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
You get
Not my favorite bottle looking, but
What are you giving it, Johnny?
on appearance,
Yeah.
it's gonna get a 6.
Okay,
It looks like a grappa bottle.
it does.
Yeah.
Let's talk the quality of taste to your
So
taste.
the smell is remarkable. It smells great. Like holy smokes! But the taste, yeah, it came in thick. Like it was heavy on the tongue, but it burned on its way down. So for me, I didn't like the taste of it. It wasn't terrible. I'll give it a 6.5.
Okay, and then price $70 for a Blanco, and a not very good Blanco either.
No, it's gonna get that 6.5 as well. So I'll give it overall 6.5.
6.5, 6.5. Boys, it's been an interesting episode.
Guys, yes, it was. I love the 7x70 talk. I love the sales talk. I think we should do a lot more of it more frequently. If you think you're stuck in your business, and even if you're not in this in the mortgage business, any outbound sales business, the 7x70 program will change your business. But it's not the beginning. It's the elite program that will help you change your business if you're ready for change. You have to be prepared and you have to have your setup completed if you want to do the 7x70. So if you're out there and you are feeling stuck, if you are in our industry, reach out to Danny or I. We'll definitely love to walk you through it. If you're not in the industry, still love to talk. We'll love to talk and walk you through it. If you like the show, comment below. Well, that fucking rhymed. If you like the show, comment below.
Share it so we can grow.
And if you share the show, we can grow. You can find us here at On the Podcast 23 on all streaming platforms. You can find Johnny Supa at Your Nesta Financial. And Danny.
Mortgages by Danny C.
Oh, next time.
Till next time.
Thank you.
Bye.